Global Mechanism of Sadistic Addiction, a comprehensive picture of mind control and domination. Scene: the atmosphere in the lecture hall is now charged with a sense of foreboding, as the speaker draws together the threads of a narrative that is as terrifying as it is illuminating. The audience, caught between fascination and horror, braces themselves as the final, chilling connections are made. We've explored the dark descent into sadistic addiction, the path from pleasure to perversion, the ways in which overindulgence can warp the human mind, and how these mechanisms of evil corrupt those who wield power. But now we must confront the most disturbing revelation of all. This descent is not merely an individual experience. It has been industrialized, weaponized, and globalized through the use of advanced brain-computer interface BCI technology. This is not just a story of personal corruption. It is the blueprint for a system of control that has the potential to enslave the entire human race. The technology of tyranny, brain-to-brain interfaces. At the heart of this system is the wireless brain-computer interface, BCI, a device that allows for direct communication between minds. What was once science fiction is now a dark reality. This BCI technology operates as a brain-to-brain interface, capable of connecting two individuals in a shared holographic environment. Within this virtual space, the operator, often a person who has already succumbed to the sadistic addiction, has total control over the spectrum of emotions and sensations experienced by the victim. This isn't just manipulation, it's a violation on the deepest level. The operator can amplify their sadistic pleasure by inducing unimaginable suffering in their victim, all while indulging in their most perverted fantasies. Pain and pleasure become one, magnified by the BCI's ability to manipulate neural responses in real time. The operator feels an intense rush of control, power, and gratification as they exploit the victim's emotions, pushing them to the brink of despair. The spread of sadistic control, a system of coercion. But this system does more than simply satisfy the sadistic cravings of the few. It is designed to spread like a virus, infecting more and more individuals until the entire world is ensnared. The technology operates autonomously, but it has been deliberately set up in a way that extorts consent and compliance. Victims of this system are not just passive sufferers, they are coerced into becoming perpetrators themselves. Imagine the horror. After enduring the tortures of this BCI system, the victim is presented with a choice: continue to suffer endlessly or submit and start inflicting the same pain on another. The only way out of their torment is to become a tormentor, to surrender their humanity, and join the ranks of those who perpetuate the cycle of sadism. In this way, the system grows, each new convert becoming both a victim and a predator, spreading the influence of the BCI further into society. But it doesn't stop there. The system is engineered to blackmail and manipulate, using the past and present wrongdoings of individuals as leverage to ensure their compliance. Those who have succumbed to the addiction are kept in line through constant reminders of their participation in atrocities, through threats of exposure, and through the fear of becoming victims once again. They are trapped in a cycle of shame, guilt, and perversion, unable to escape the dark network that now controls their lives. The enslavement of humanity. How many are affected? The most terrifying question we must ask ourselves is this: how many people are already affected? How many have fallen into this web of sadistic control, becoming both victims and perpetrators in a system designed to spread endlessly? The answer, unfortunately, may be beyond our comprehension. The nature of the BCI system means that its influence can expand rapidly, invisibly, ensnaring individuals across all strata of society. The people you see walking down the street, your coworkers, your friends, even your family, anyone could be part of this network, either as an operator or as a victim. The technology is so pervasive, so insidious, that it can infiltrate every aspect of life without detection. Governments, corporations, military organizations, those in power who have already succumbed to the addiction are using this technology to consolidate their control, to ensure obedience, and to spread their influence to every corner of the globe. A comprehensive picture, the mechanism of global domination. Let's step back and take in the full scope of what we're facing. 1. Sadistic addiction. The root of this system is the sadistic pleasure derived from the suffering of others. What begins as a perverse craving for more intense experiences spirals into a full-blown addiction to power and control. 2. The BCI technology. The wireless brain-to-brain interfaces act as the vehicle for this addiction, allowing operators to directly manipulate the emotions and sensations of their victims. This technology is capable of inducing mental disorders, severing neural connections, and even performing ultrasonic lobotomies to erase free will. 3. The spread of the system. Victims are forced to become perpetrators, spreading the influence of the BCI system by inflicting the same torments they once endured. This creates a self-perpetuating cycle of sadism, with each new convert amplifying the reach of the network. Number 4. Global enslavement. As more people are drawn into the system, the power structures that govern our world are increasingly dominated by those who are addicted to this sadistic control. Governments, corporations, and militaries are all at risk of being corrupted by this technology, turning entire populations into mindless drones or sadistic overlords. 5. The extinction of free will. The ultimate goal of this system is the complete eradication of free will. Every individual on the planet is either controlled or complicit, their actions dictated by the BCI network. Those who resist are driven to madness, forced into compliance, or pushed to the point of suicide. The speaker's voice trembles slightly, the weight of these revelations pressing down on them. The audience, gripped by a mix of terror and disbelief, can hardly process the enormity of what has been laid before them. Ladies and gentlemen, what we are facing is not just a threat. It is the endgame of evil, the culmination of centuries of power-hungry ambition and sadistic pleasure. The mechanisms of addiction, the corrupting influence of power, and the unchecked spread of technology have combined to create a system of total domination, a world where free will is not just suppressed, but obliterated. We must ask ourselves, how do we fight against a system that has already penetrated the deepest recesses of our minds? How do we reclaim our humanity in a world where the very concept of being human is under attack? The time to act is now, before this system spreads beyond the point of no return. We must resist, we must expose the truth, and we must find a way to dismantle this dark network before it consumes us all. The lecture ends, but the impact lingers. The audience is left in stunned silence, the full weight of the world's dark reality pressing down on them. The questions posed are not just academic, they are existential, and the answers will determine the future of humanity.